20 doctors stand frozen. Monitors scream. A 19-year-old girl convulses under blue lights, her skin turning the color of ash. Her mother, Marilyn Kingsley, wife of tech billionaire Harlan Kingsley, grips the bed rail so hard her knuckles go white. The room smells like antiseptic and desperation. Someone shouts for epinephrine. Another voice calls for the crash cart. But none of it matters because the girl, Ariel Kingsley, is dying anyway. Then a man steps forward. He wears a dark maintenance jumpsuit with grease stains on the sleeves. His name is Jonas Hale. He shouldn't be here. He's nobody. Just the guy who fixes broken vents and mops floors after midnight. But his voice cuts through the chaos like a blade. She's not collapsing. She's reacting to the treatment. Every head turns. A surgeon in bloody gloves stares at him like he just spoke in tongues. Dr. Alara Thornton, lead physician for 3 months now, narrows her eyes. Marilyn Kingsley's mouth falls open. Then it snaps shut. Who the hell is this? A nurse whispers, maintenance. The air goes cold. Marilyn steps toward Jonas, her designer heels clicking against tile. Her voice could cut glass. You think a janitor knows more than 20 certified specialists. Jonas doesn't move. His hand trembles at his side. He's staring at the 4 bag hanging above Ariel's bed. The clear liquid drips slow and steady into her veins. He's seen this before. 3 years ago. His wife, Miriam, lying in a hospital bed just like this one. Same gray skin. Same shallow breathing. Same doctors telling him there was nothing they could do. Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. Jonas opens his mouth. His throat feels tight. The sedative you're using, she's allergic. It's masking the reaction. You're poisoning her while trying to save her. Dr. Alara's jaw tightens. That's impossible. We've run every allergy test. Not for this compound. I've seen it before. Marilyn's face turns red. She points at the door. Get him out. Now. 2 security guards appear. They grab Jonas by the arms. He doesn't resist. He just keeps staring at Ariel, at the way her chest barely rises, at the blue tint creeping across her lips. One of the guards pulls him toward the hallway. His boots drag against the floor. The door swings shut behind him with a heavy click. And then the monitor flatlines. The sound is sharp and endless. A single high-pitched tone that fills the room like a scream. Dr. Alara lunges for the defibrillator. Nurses swarm the bed. Marilyn stumbles backward, her hand over her mouth. Someone yells, "Clear." Ariel's body jerks as electricity slams through her chest. Once, twice, 3 times. Nothing. Jonas stands in the hallway. He can hear everything through the door. The shouting, the machine, the silence that follows when they stop trying. His hands are shaking. His heart pounds so hard it hurts. He closes his eyes and sees Miriam again, her hand going limp in his. The way the doctors looked at him when they said, "We did everything we could." He whispers to himself, "Not again. I won't let her die like Miriam did." He turns and walks down the service corridor. His legs move on autopilot, past the supply closet, past the break room, all the way to the maintenance wing where his locker sits in the corner, rusted and forgotten. He spins the combination lock. Inside, wedged between a spare uniform and a toolbox, is a worn leather notebook. The cover is cracked. The pages are yellow. His wife's handwriting fills every line. Dr. Miriam Hade, allergist, fired from this hospital 5 years ago for challenging protocol. Jonas flips to the last page. Her final entry, written 2 weeks before she died. It's not about the cure. It's about what's being missed. Beneath the words, taped to the page, is a small glass vial. Clear liquid. No label. She made it herself. An experimental anti-inflammatory serum designed to neutralize rare toxic reactions. Never tested. Never approved. Never believed. Jonas pulls the vial free. It's warm in his palm. He stares at it for a long time. Then he slips it into his pocket and heads back toward room 307. What he's about to do could destroy him. But he's done being invisible. Would you have stayed silent or risked everything like Jonas? Drop your answer below. Room 307 sits at the end of the 4th floor hallway. The door is closed. Through the narrow window, Jonas can see shadows moving. Doctors, nurses, machines. Marilyn Kingsley pacing like a caged animal. He stays out of sight, pressed against the wall, watching. His breath comes fast and shallow. The vial in his pocket feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. Inside, Dr. Alara steps back from the bed. Her mask hangs loose around her neck. Her eyes are red. She shakes her head at Marilyn. We've tried everything. I'm sorry. Marilyn doesn't cry. She just stands there, staring at her daughter. Ariel's chest barely moves. The monitors beep slow and weak. Her face is pale except for the dark bruises spreading across her cheeks. She looks like a ghost already. A younger doctor, Dr. Marcus Reed, glances at the clock on the wall. We're losing her. I know, Alara says quietly. Jonas pushes off the wall. His legs feel heavy. His hands won't stop shaking. He walks to the emergency access panel near the supply room and pulls it open. The maintenance tunnels run behind every major room in the hospital. He knows them better than anyone. He's fixed leaking pipes in these walls, replaced wiring, clear blockages. Now he's using them to break the rules. He climbs inside. The metal is cold against his palms. He crawls through the narrow space, his knees scraping against dust and old insulation. The tunnel curves left, then right. Finally, he reaches the panel behind room 307. He presses his ear against it. Voices, muffled, desperate. He pushes the panel open just enough to see inside. The room is dim now. Most of the doctors have stepped back. Only Dr. Alara and 2 nurses remain at Ariel's bedside. Marilyn sits in a chair by the window, her head in her hands. The monitors hum low and slow. The countdown is almost over. Jonas slips through the panel. His boots hit the floor with a soft thud. No one notices at first. He's too quiet, too quick. He moves toward the 4 stand, his hand already reaching for the vial in his pocket. His fingers close around glass. It feels warm, alive. Dr. Alara turns. Her eyes go wide. What the? She's allergic to the sedative compound, Jonas says. His voice is steady now. Calm. You missed it because the reaction mimics septic shock. I've seen it before. My wife died from it. Marcus steps forward. Sir, you need to leave. Now. Jonas ignores him. He pulls the vial from his pocket and holds it up to the light. The liquid inside glows faint amber under the fluorescent bulbs. This neutralizes the toxin. It's the only thing that can save her. Alara's face goes hard. You don't know what's in that. You don't know if it'll work. You could kill her. She's already dying, Jonas says. You've done everything you can. Now let me do what you can't. Marilyn rises from her chair. She walks toward him slow and deliberate. Her eyes are cold, empty. If you touch my daughter, I will have you arrested. Jonas looks at her, then at Ariel. The girl's chest barely rises. Her lips are blue. Her fingers twitch against the sheets. He thinks of Miriam, the way she looked at him in those final moments, the way she whispered, "Don't let anyone else go through this." He unscrews the cap on the vial. Then arrest me after she breathes. He injects the serum into the 4-line. The amber liquid mixes with the clear drip. It flows down the tube, into Ariel's arm, into her bloodstream. Seconds pass. The room goes silent. Even the monitors seem to hold their breath. Then Ariel gasps. It's violent, sudden. Her back arches off the bed. Her eyes fly open. She coughs hard enough to shake the whole mattress. The monitor spikes. Her heart rate jumps. Her oxygen levels climb. The nurses stumble backward. Dr. Alara's mouth falls open. Marilyn whispers, "What did you do?" Jonas steps back from the bed. His hands are still shaking. His chest feels tight. He looks at Ariel, at the color returning to her cheeks, at the way her breathing steadies. And for the first time in 3 years, he feels something other than grief. I gave her a chance. Something you stopped believing in. Security bursts through the door. 2 guards, then 4. They grab Jonas by the arms and drag him backward. He doesn't fight. He just keeps his eyes on Ariel, on her chest, rising and falling, on the life coming back into her face. Dr. Alara watches him go. Her hands are frozen at her sides. Her mind is racing. She looks at the vial on the floor where Jonas dropped it. Then at Ariel. then at the doors swinging shut. What just happened? Jonas Hale lives in a one-bedroom apartment on the south side of the city. The rent is cheap because the building is old and the neighborhood is loud. Sirens every night. Car alarms. Arguments through thin walls. But it's home. It's all he can afford on a maintenance worker's salary. He wakes up every morning at 5, makes coffee in a dented pot, packs a lunch in a brown paper bag. Then he walks down the hall to the second bedroom, the one that's barely big enough for a twin bed and a dresser, and wakes his daughter. Her name is Ivy. She's 8 years old. She has her mother's eyes, dark and warm and full of questions. Every morning, she asks Jonas the same thing. Did you sleep okay, Dad? And every morning, he lies. Yeah, baby. Slept fine. He doesn't tell her about the nightmares. The ones where he's standing in a hospital room watching Miriam slip away. The ones where he reaches for her hand and she's already gone. He doesn't tell Ivy that he wakes up most nights at 3 in the morning and sits in the kitchen staring at nothing. He makes her breakfast instead. Toast with peanut butter, a glass of orange juice. She eats slow and talks fast. She tells him about school, about her friend Amara, who draws unicorns, about the math test she's nervous for. Jonas listens to every word. He nods. He smiles. He tucks a strand of hair behind her ear. You're going to do great, he says. You always say that. Because it's always true. He walks her to the bus stop. They stand on the corner together, her hand in his. The morning air is cold. The sky is still dark. When the bus pulls up, Ivy hugs him tight around the waist. Love you, Dad. Love you more. She climbs the steps and waves from the window. Jonas waves back until the bus disappears around the corner. Then he walks to the hospital. It takes 40 minutes on foot. He doesn't mind. The walk gives him time to think, time to breathe, time to remember why he does this. Every dollar he earns goes to Ivy. School supplies, clothes, field trips. He saves nothing for himself. He doesn't need much, just enough to keep her safe, keep her fed, keep her smiling. At the hospital, Jonas is invisible. He wears the same dark jumpsuit every shift. He keeps his head down. He fixes things, broken lights, leaking faucets, stuck doors. No one notices him. No one asks his name. He's just a maintenance guy, the one who shows up when something stops working. Tonight, his shift starts at 8. He clocks in at the staff entrance and grabs his toolbox from the storage room. The hallways are quiet. Most of the patients are asleep. The doctors are finishing rounds. Jonas walks to the 4th floor. He has a repair request for a faulty vent in one of the procedure rooms. He sets his toolbox down outside room 305. The vent is above the doorframe. He climbs the ladder, unscrews the grate, pulls out the filter. It's clogged with dust and lint. He replaces it with a clean one and tightens the screws back into place. That's when his toolbox rolls. He doesn't see it happen. The floor is uneven. The wheels catch on a crack in the tile. The toolbox tips and slides across the hallway, right through the open door of room 307. Jonas climbs down a ladder. He walks to the door and stops. The room is full of people. Doctors, nurses, machines everywhere. A girl lies in the bed. She's young, pale. Her chest barely rises. Monitors beep slow and unsteady. A woman in an expensive suit stands by the window, her arms crossed tight. Her face is hard, cold. A man in scrubs shouts orders. Another adjusts and foredrip. Jonas steps inside. He bends to pick up his toolbox. That's when he sees it. The 4-bag, clear liquid dripping into the girl's arm. The same sedative compound they used on Miriam. The same one that killed her. His breath catches. His hands freeze. He stares at the bag, at the girl, at the way her skin is turning gray. He knows this. He's lived this. He's watched this exact thing destroy the only person he ever loved. And now it's happening again. Jonas straightens slow. His eyes stay locked on the 4-bag. The clear liquid drips steady. 1 drop, 2, 3. Each one carries poison the doctors don't see. His heart pounds against his ribs. His hands start to shake. He's back in that room 3 years ago. Miriam lying in the bed, tubes in her arms, machines breathing for her. The doctors promising they're doing everything they can. They lied then. They're lying now. A nurse glances at him. Can I help you? Jonas doesn't answer. He's staring at the girl's face. Her cheeks are bruised. Her lips are turning blue. Her breathing is shallow and fast. The monitors scream warnings no one is hearing. He sees the way her fingers twitch against the sheets. The same way Miriam's did right before her heart stopped. "Sir, you need to leave." Jonas steps closer to the bed. His voice comes out rough. "Urgent. She's allergic to the sedative. You're killing her." The room goes quiet. A doctor in a white coat turns around. His name tag reads Dr. Marcus Reed. He looks at Jonas like he's speaking another language. "Excuse me." "The compound in that 4, Jonas says. He points at the bag. His hand is shaking. It's masking an allergic reaction. She's not collapsing from the illness. She's reacting to the treatment. Dr. Reed frowns. "We've run every allergy panel. Not for this compound. I've seen it before." Another doctor steps forward. Dr. Alara Thornton. She's older. Sharp eyes. Tired face. She's been running this case for 3 months. 20 specialists have tried to save this girl. None of them have come close. "Who are you?" she asks. "Maintenance," Jonas says. "But my wife was Dr. Miriam Hale. She was an allergist. She died from this exact reaction." Alara's eyes narrow. "Dr. Hale was dismissed from this hospital because she tried to tell you what you didn't want to hear." The woman by the window moves. She's tall, elegant. Her suit is tailored. Her jewelry is expensive. Her face is stone. Marilyn Kingsley, wife of Harlan Kingsley, mother of the girl dying in the bed. She walks toward Jonas with slow, deliberate steps. Her heels click against the tile. She stops 2 feet away. "You're telling me," she says, her voice ice, "that 20 of the nation's top doctors miss something a janitor can see?" Jonas doesn't flinch. "Yes." Marilyn's eyes flash. "Get him out." "Wait," Alara says. She's staring at Jonas now. Really staring. "What did your wife say about the compound?" Jonas swallows. His throat feels tight. "She said the sedative reacts with certain proteins in the blood. It mimics septic shock. The symptoms look identical, but the treatment you're giving makes it worse. It accelerates the collapse." Marcus shakes his head. "That's not possible." "It killed my wife," Jonas says. His voice breaks. "I watched her die because no one believed her. Because everyone thought she was wrong. Because people like you don't listen to people like us." Marilyn's face hardens. "This is my daughter. You don't get to experiment on her with your conspiracy theories." "Then she'll die," Jonas says. "Just like Miriam did." The room goes silent. The only sound is the beep of the monitors. Slow. Faint. Fading. Ariel's chest barely rises. Her oxygen levels drop another point. Then another. Dr. Alara looks at the screen. Her jaw tightens. Marilyn steps closer to Jonas. Her voice drops low. "Dangerous. If you touch my daughter, I will destroy you. I will make sure you never work again. I will make sure your name is poison in every hospital in this country. Do you understand me?" Jonas looks at her. Then at Ariel. The girl's fingers twitch. Her eyes flutter behind closed lids. She's slipping away. He can feel it. The same way he felt Miriam slip away. The same helplessness. The same rage. The same guilt. He opens his mouth to respond, and the monitor flatlines. The sound cuts through the room like a knife. Sharp. Endless. A single high-pitched tone that drowns out everything else. Dr. Alara lunges for the crash cart. Marcus grabs the defibrillator. Nurses swarm the bed. Someone shouts, "Charging to 200. Ariel's body jerks as the paddles press against her chest. Clear. Her back arches. Her arms fly out. The monitor stays flat. Again. Another jolt. Another convulsion. Nothing. Jonas stumbles backward. 2 security guards appear in the doorway. They grab him by the arms. He doesn't fight. He's staring at Ariel, at the way her body goes limp, at the way the doctors keep trying even though they know it's over. One of the guards pulls him toward the door. His boots drag against the floor. He twists his head back, watches the room disappear behind him, watches Marilyn collapse into a chair, watches Dr. Alara press her hands against her face. The door swings shut. The guards drag him down the hallway, past the elevators, past the nurse's station, all the way to the service exit. They throw him outside into the cold night air. The door locks behind him. Jonas stands in the alley. His breath comes fast. His hands won't stop shaking. He looks up at the hospital, at the lights glowing in the windows, at room 307 on the 4th floor. He whispers to the night, "I won't let her die like Miriam." He turns and runs. Jonas sprints down the alley. His boots pound against wet pavement. His breath comes in ragged gasps. He cuts through the parking lot, past rows of cars, past the ambulance bay. His lungs burn. His legs scream. He doesn't stop. He can't. He reaches the maintenance wing on the east side of the building. The door is locked, but he has a key. His hands shake so bad it takes 3 tries to get it in. The lock clicks. He shoves the door open and stumbles inside. The hallway is dark, empty. The fluorescent lights flicker overhead. He runs to his locker, spins the combination. The door swings open. Inside, buried under a spare uniform and a toolbox, is the notebook. Miriam's notebook. He grabs it and flips to the last page. His fingers tremble. The vial is still there, taped to the paper. Small, glass, filled with amber liquid. He stares at it for a long moment. This is what Miriam made in her final weeks. When the hospital wouldn't listen. When they dismissed her research as unproven. When they told her she was wasting time. She made this in their kitchen, tested it on her own blood, left it for him with a note. If you ever see this happen again, use it. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for proof. Just save them. Jonas peels the vial free. It's warm in his palm. He closes his eyes, sees Miriam's face, hears her voice. "I'm sorry I didn't save you," he whispers. "But I won't make that mistake again." He slips the vial into his pocket and runs back through the hallway. He knows the service tunnels. He's fixed pipes in them, replaced wiring, clear blockages. He knows every turn, every panel, every way in and out. He climbs into the access shaft behind the storage room and crawls through the narrow space. Metal scrapes his elbows. Dust fills his lungs. He doesn't care. He reaches the panel behind room 307, presses his ear against it. Voices, shouting, the crash cart charging again. He waits, listens. The tone of the voices shifts. Desperation turns to exhaustion. Someone says, "Call it." Silence. Jonas pushes the panel open just enough to see inside. Most of the doctors have stepped back. Only Dr. Alera and 2 nurses remain at the bedside. Marilyn sits in a chair by the window. Her head is in her hands. Her shoulders shake. The monitors beep slow. Faint. Almost gone. Jonas slips through the panel. His boots hit the floor soft. No one turns. He moves toward the 4 stand. His hand goes to his pocket. The vial is still warm. He pulls it out, holds it up to the light. The amber liquid glows. Dr. Alera turns. Her eyes go wide. "You." "She's dying because you won't listen," Jonas says. His voice is steady now. "Calm. I'm not asking for permission. I'm telling you what's going to happen. I'm going to inject this into her 4. It's going to neutralize the toxin, and she's going to live." Marcus steps forward. "You have no idea what's in that." "I know exactly what's in it," Jonas says. "My wife made it. She died proving it works." Marilyn rises from her chair. She walks toward him, slow, deliberate. Her face is a mask of rage and grief. "If you touch her, I will destroy you." Jonas looks at her, then at Ariel. The girl's chest barely moves. Her lips are blue. Her fingers lie still against the sheets. He thinks of Ivy, of the way she hugs him every morning, of the way she says, "Love you, Dad." He thinks of Miriam, of the way she looked at him in those final moments, of the way she whispered, "Don't let anyone else die like this." He unscrews the cap. "Then destroy me after she breathes." What would you risk to save a stranger's life? Tell us in the comments. The needle pierces the injection port. Jonas pushes the plunger slow and steady. Amber liquid flows into the 4 line. It mixes with the clear drip, swirls, disappears, travels down the tube, into Ariel's arm, into her bloodstream, into every cell that's shutting down. Jonas steps back. His hand falls to his side. The empty vial slips from his fingers and hits the floor. It doesn't break, just rolls under the bed. Out of sight, the room holds its breath. 5 seconds pass. 10. The monitors don't change. Ariel doesn't move. Her chest barely rises. Dr. Alera stares at Jonas. Her face is unreadable. Marcus backs toward the wall. His hand hovers near the phone, ready to call security again. Marilyn stands frozen by the window. Her mouth is open, but no sound comes out. Her eyes are locked on her daughter's face. 20 seconds. 30. Nothing. Jonas's heart sinks. His chest tightens. The edges of his vision blur. He thinks maybe he was wrong. Maybe the vial didn't work. Maybe Miriam was wrong too. Maybe they're both just broken people clinging to false hope. Maybe Ariel is already. She gasps. It's violent. Sudden. Her back arches off the bed like something grabbed her from below. Her eyes fly open. Wide. Terrified. Her mouth opens and she coughs so hard the whole bed shakes. Once. Twice. 3 times. Her hands claw at the sheets. Her legs kick. The monitors explode with sound, beeping fast and loud and alive. The nurses stumble backward. Marcus drops his phone. Dr. Alara rushes to the bedside. She grabs Ariel's wrist, checks her pulse, looks at the monitor. Her jaw drops. Her oxygen is climbing. Heart rate stabilizing. Blood pressure. She stops. Blinks. It's normalizing. Ariel coughs again, this time softer. She sucks in air like she's been underwater for hours. Her chest heaves. Her skin starts to change. The gray fades. Pink returns to her cheeks. Her lips lose the blue tint. Her fingers stop trembling. Marilyn stumbles forward. She reaches for her daughter's hand. Ariel's eyes focus. She looks at her mother. Her voice comes out hoarse. Broken. Mom. Marilyn's face crumbles. Tears stream down her cheeks. She presses Ariel's hand to her lips. Her whole body shakes. You're okay. You're okay. Oh God, you're okay. Dr. Alara turns to Jonas. Her face is pale. Her hands are shaking. What was in that vial? Jonas doesn't answer. He's staring at Ariel, at the way her chest rises and falls. Steady now. Strong. Alive. He thinks of Miriam, of the way she held his hand in those final hours, of the way she said, "Promise me you won't let this happen to anyone else." He kept his promise. The door bursts open. For security guards flood in. They grab Jonas by the arms. He doesn't resist, doesn't fight, just lets them drag him backward, away from the bed, away from Ariel, away from the miracle he just created. Wait, Dr. Alara says. Stop. The guard don't stop. They pull Jonas into the hallway. His boots scrape against the tile. He looks back one last time. Sees Ariel sitting up now. Sees Marilyn holding her. Sees Dr. Alara picking up the empty vial from under the bed. The door swings shut. The guards shove him toward the elevator. One of them pulls out handcuffs. Jonas doesn't ask why. He already knows. He broke protocol. Administered an unapproved substance. Endangered a patient's life. Doesn't matter that it worked. Doesn't matter that she's breathing. He crossed the line hospitals don't forgive. They take him to a small office on the first floor. Lock the door. Tell him to wait. He sits in a metal chair and stares at his hands. They're still shaking. He closes his eyes. Sees Miriam's face. Hears her voice. You did it, she whispers. You saved her. Jonas opens his eyes. The room is empty. Silent. Cold. He's alone. But somewhere above him, on the 4th floor, a girl who was supposed to die is asking for water. Jonas sits in a metal chair for 3 hours. No one comes. No one speaks to him. The fluorescent light above his head buzzes. Flickers. The room smells like old coffee and disinfectant. His wrists ache where the guard gripped him. His chest feels hollow. Empty. Like something vital got ripped out. The door opens. A man in a suit walks in. Gray hair. Expensive watch. Cold eyes. He doesn't introduce himself. Just sits across from Jonas and slides a folder onto the table. You're fired, the man says. Effective immediately. You're banned from hospital property. If you return, you'll be arrested for trespassing. Jonas doesn't react. Just stares at the folder. The man leans forward. You're lucky the family isn't pressing charges. But they want you gone. Tonight. She's alive, Jonas says quietly. That's not the point. Then what is? The man's jaw tightens. The point is you don't get to play doctor. You don't get to ignore protocol. You don't get to decide who lives and dies. Jonas looks up. His eyes are empty. I didn't decide. You did. When you stopped listening. The man stands. pushes the folder across the table. Sign the termination paperwork. Then get out. Jonas signs. Doesn't read it. Doesn't care. He stands and walks to the door. The guard escorts him through the lobby, past the emergency room, past the gift shop, out into the parking lot. The night air is cold. The stars are hidden behind clouds. Jonas walks toward the bus stop. His legs feel heavy. His heart feels heavier. He doesn't go home. Not yet. He walks for an hour, past closed storefronts, past empty streets, past the park where he used to take Ivy when she was smaller. He sits on a bench and stares at nothing. His phone buzzes in his pocket. A text from his neighbor. Ivy's asleep. Don't worry. He types back. Thank you. His phone buzzes again. This time it's a news alert. Breaking. Billionaire's daughter shows miraculous recovery after months of decline. Jonas clicks the link. The article is short. No details. Just speculation. Doctors are calling it unexpected. Reporters are calling it a mystery. No one mentions Jonas. No one mentions the vial. No one mentions the man who got dragged out of the room. He locks his phone, leans back against the bench, closes his eyes. 3 days pass. Jonas doesn't leave his apartment. He tells Ivy he's sick. She brings him soup, asks if he's okay. He lies and says yes. At night, he sits in the kitchen and stares at Miriam's notebook. The pages are worn. The ink is faded, but her words are still clear. The truth doesn't need permission. It just needs someone brave enough to speak it. On the 4th day, his phone rings. Unknown number. He almost doesn't answer. Then something makes him pick up. Mr. Hale. A woman's voice. Professional. Steady. Yeah. This is Dr. Alara Thornton. We need to talk. Jonas's chest tightens. I'm not coming back. I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to meet me. There's something you need to see. She give him an address. A lab across town. Jonas hangs up, stares at the phone. Every instinct tells him to ignore it, to stay hidden, to protect Ivy from whatever comes next. But something pulls him, the same thing that pulled him back to room 307. He takes the bus, arrives at the lab an hour later. Dr. Alara is waiting outside. She looks tired, older than she did 3 days ago. She leads him inside without a word. They walk through white hallways, past machines Jonas doesn't recognize, into a small office with glass walls. She closes the door, pulls out a folder, opens it. Inside are pages of test results. Charts, graphs, numbers Jonas doesn't understand. I ran tests on the vial you used, she says. On the compound inside. On Ariel's blood before and after. Jonas waits. You were right, she says quietly. The sedative was causing an allergic cascade, mimicking septic shock. Every treatment we gave accelerated the reaction. We were killing her while trying to save her. Jonas's throat tightens. Your wife's serum neutralized the toxin, stopped the cascade, reversed the damage. She pauses, looks at him. Mr. Hale, you didn't just save Ariel's life. You proved a medical theory 20 doctors missed. Jonas doesn't speak. Can't. Dr. Alara leans forward. I submitted your wife's research to the medical board. They're opening an inquiry. They want to know why her findings were dismissed, why she was fired, why no one listened. They won't care, Jonas says. People like me don't matter to people like them. Maybe not, Alara says. But people like Ariel do. And she's alive because of you. She slides another paper across the desk. A news article, published that morning. Hospital maintenance worker saves billionaire's daughter with experimental treatment. Medical community demands answers. Jonas stares at the headline. His name is in the article. His face is in the photo. The story is spreading. Fast. You're not invisible anymore, Dr. Alara says. Would the world have listened if Jonas stayed silent? Drop your thoughts below. The story goes viral in 48 hours. Every news outlet picks it up. Local stations, national networks, online blog. Social media explodes. Hashtag trend. Hashtag Zjani to Huzavit. Hashtag Jonas Hid. Hashtag listen to the Kvit Onis. Jonas's phone won't stop ringing. Reporters, producers, talk shows. Everyone wants an interview. Everyone wants his story. He ignores them all, stays inside, keeps Ivy close, tells her everything is fine, even though it's not. On the 5th day, someone knocks on his door. Jonas opens it and finds a man in a tailored suit. Gray hair, sharp eyes. He's holding a briefcase. Mr. Hale, I am David Rees. I represent the Kingsley family. Jonas starts to close the door. David puts his hand out. Please, just 5 minutes. Jonas hesitates, then steps back. David walks in, looks around the small apartment. The worn furniture, the cracked walls, the toys scattered on the floor. He doesn't comment, just sits on the couch and opens his briefcase. The Kingsleys want to meet with you. Jonas shakes his head. I'm not interested. They want to thank you. They fired me. That was a mistake, David says. One they'd like to correct. Jonas crosses his arms. What do they want? David pulls out a check, slides it across the coffee table. Jonas glances at it. His stomach drops. The number has too many zeros. They're offering you compensation. For your trouble. For your silence. Jonas looks up. My silence. The media attention has been difficult for the family. They prefer the story fade quietly. In exchange, they're willing to provide financial support. Enough to secure your daughter's future. College. Healthcare. Whatever she needs. Jonas stares at the check. Thinks of Ivy. Of the school supplies he can't afford. Of the field trips she misses. Of the future she deserves. Then he thinks of Miriam. Of the way she fought for truth, even when it cost her everything. He picks up the check. Tears it in half. Tell them to keep their money. David's face hardens. Mr. Hale, be reasonable. I'm done being reasonable, Jonas says. For 3 years, I've been quiet. I've been invisible. I've let people like you tell me my place. Not anymore. He walks to the door. Opens it. Get out. David stands. Adjusts his tie. You're making a mistake. Maybe, but it's mine to make. David leaves. Jonas closes the door. His hands are shaking again. But this time it's not fear. It's something else. Something he hasn't felt in years. Power. The next morning, Jonas gets a call from a number he recognizes. Dr. Alera. Turn on the news. He does. The headline fills the screen. Investigation launched into Kingsley Pharmaceutical suppression of medical research. The anchor speaks over footage of the hospital, of Harlan Kingsley, of protesters gathering outside Kingsley Tower. Documents reveal that 5 years ago, Dr. Miriam Hale, an allergist employed at Metro General Hospital, developed a treatment for rare toxic reactions. Her research was submitted to Kingsley Pharmaceutical for review. It was rejected as unprofitable, and she was subsequently dismissed from her position. Dr. Hale died 3 years later from the same condition her research aimed to treat. Jonas's chest tightens. The screen shifts to an interview. Dr. Alera sits across from a reporter. Dr. Hale's husband, Jonas Hale, used her unpublished research to save Ariel Kingsley's life. The very company that dismissed Dr. Hale's work is now being forced to acknowledge that her discovery was valid, that it works, that it could have saved countless lives if it had been approved. The reporter leans forward. Are you saying Kingsley Pharmaceutical knowingly suppressed life-saving research? I'm saying we need answers. The screen cuts to footage of Harlan Kingsley leaving his office. Reporters swarm him. Cameras flash. Someone shouts, "Did you know about Dr. Hale's research?" He doesn't answer, just climbs into a black car and drives away. Jonas's phone rings. Dr. Alera again. The medical board wants you to testify. Jonas's throat goes dry. Testify. At the inquiry, they're investigating how Dr. Hale's research was handled. Why it was dismissed? Who made that decision? Your testimony could change everything. Jonas closes his eyes. Thinks of Miriam. Of the nights she stayed up late filling notebooks with formulas. Of the way she cried when they told her she was being let go. Of the way she whispered, "They'll see. Someday they'll see." "I'll do it," he says. The hearing takes place 3 weeks later. A panel of 12 medical board members sits at a long table. Lawyers fill the room. Reporters line the back wall. Cameras record everything. Jonas sits in a chair at the center. His hands rest on his knees. He wears the only suit he owns. It's old. The sleeves are too short, but it's clean. The lead investigator, Dr. Raymond Cole, speaks first. "Mr. Hale, thank you for coming. We'd like to start by asking about your late wife, Dr. Miriam Hale. Can you tell us about her research?" Jonas clears his throat. His voice is quiet but steady. Miriam spent 5 years studying allergic reactions to sedative compounds. She found that certain proteins in the blood can trigger a cascade that mimics septic shock. Most doctors miss it because the symptoms look identical to other conditions. She developed a treatment, an anti-inflammatory serum that neutralizes the toxin before it spreads. And she submitted this research to Kingsley Pharmaceutical. Yes, 5 years ago. She thought they'd fund clinical trials. Instead, they rejected it. Why? Jonas's jaw tightens. They said it wasn't profitable. The condition is rare. The market is small. They told her to focus on more viable projects. Dr. Cole nods. What happened after the rejection? She was let go from the hospital. They said her research was taking time away from patient care. But she knew the truth. She challenged Kingsley's decision. So they got rid of her. A murmur runs through the room. One of the board members leans forward. Mr. Hale, are you saying Dr. Hale was fired for speaking out against Kingsley Pharmaceutical? I'm saying she was fired because she cared more about saving lives than making money. The room goes quiet. Dr. Cole pulls out a document, slides it across the table. This is Dr. Hale's original research proposal. It includes test results, clinical data, projections for efficacy. Everything a pharmaceutical company would need to move forward. He pauses. It also includes a note from the review board. Would you read it for us? Jonas picks up the paper. His hands shake. He reads aloud. Treatment shows promise, but lacks commercial viability. Recommend discontinuation of research. Applicant to be reassigned or terminated. Dr. Cole leans back. The note is signed by 3 members of Kingsley Pharmaceutical's executive board. One of them was Harland Kingsley himself. The room erupts. Reporters scramble for their phones. Cameras flash. The board members whisper to each other. Jonas sits frozen, staring at the signature at the bottom of the page. Harland Kingsley knew. He saw Miriam's research. He understood what it could do, and he killed it anyway. Dr. Cole raises his hand. The room quiets. Mr. Hale, you used your wife's research to save Ariel Kingsley, the daughter of the man who rejected that same research. Do you see the weight of that? Jonas looks up. His eyes are wet, but his voice is strong. I see a girl who almost died because powerful people decided her life wasn't worth the cost. I see a system that values profit over patience. I see my wife's name finally being heard. Dr. Cole nods. Thank you, Mr. Hale. That will be all. Jonas stands, walks out of the room. The cameras follow him. Reporters shout questions. He doesn't stop, just pushes through the crowd and steps outside. The air is cold, clean. He takes a deep breath. Behind him, the hearing continues. Lawyers argue. Board members deliberate. But Jonas already knows the outcome. The truth is out. Miriam's research is being reviewed. Kingsley Pharmaceutical is under investigation. The empire that silenced her is crumbling. 2 days later, the Kingsleys make an announcement. They're establishing the Miriam Hale Foundation for Compassionate Medicine, a nonprofit dedicated to funding research on overlooked treatments, on conditions deemed unprofitable, on the voices ignored by the system. They're donating $50 million to start. The news calls it redemption. Jonas calls it too late. But it's something. For weeks after the hearing, Jonas gets a visitor. He's at home, making breakfast for Ivy. She's at the table drawing pictures of unicorns. The knock is soft. Jonas opens the door and finds Ariel Kingsley standing on his doorstep. She's thinner than she was in the hospital, pale, but alive. Her eyes are clear. Her smile is real. She's holding a bouquet of flowers. Hi, she says. Jonas doesn't speak, just stares. I wanted to thank you. In person. He steps aside. She walks in. Ivy looks up from her drawing. Ariel waves. Ivy waves back. Jonas closes the door. You didn't have to come here, he says. Yes, I did. Ariel sets the flowers on the counter. Everyone keeps calling it a miracle. The doctors, the reporters, my parents. But I know the truth. You didn't pray for a miracle. You made one. Jonas shakes his head. I just did what your doctors wouldn't. You listen when no one else would. They sit at the small kitchen table. Ivy goes back to her drawing. Ariel watches her for a moment, then looks at Jonas. My mom told me what you did. How you came back even after they threw you out. How you risked everything. She pauses. She also told me about your wife. Jonas's throat tightens. I'm sorry, Ariel says. I'm sorry she didn't get to see this. I'm sorry my family didn't listen when they should have. It's not your fault. Maybe not, but I'm alive because of her. And because of you. Jonas looks at Ivy, at the way she colors carefully inside the lines, at the way she hums while she works, at the way her face lights up when she finishes a drawing. I didn't do it for thanks, he says quietly. I did it because I couldn't watch someone else die. Not when I knew how to stop it. Ariel nods. That's what makes you different from people like my parents. They have all the power in the world. But you're the one who changed everything. She stands, walks to the door, stops. The foundation we're starting. In your wife's name. We want you to be part of it. Help us decide which research to fund, which voices to hear. Make sure what happened to Dr. Hale never happens again. Jonas stands. I'm not a doctor. No, but you're something better. You're someone who listens. She leaves. Jonas closes the door, stands in the quiet apartment. Ivy runs over and tugs his hand. Dad, who was that? Someone I helped. Is she okay now? Yeah, baby. She's okay. Ivy smiles. Good. You're really good at helping people. Jonas kneels down, pulls her into a hug, holds her tight. She wraps her arms around his neck and squeezes back. That night, after Ivy is asleep, Jonas sits at the kitchen table. Miriam's notebook is open in front of him. He reads through her notes, her formulas, her dreams written in faded ink. He runs his fingers over the last page, the one where she wrote her final words. The truth doesn't need permission. It just needs someone brave enough to speak it. Jonas closes the notebook, looks out the window. The city lights glow in the distance. Somewhere out there, doctors are treating patients. Researchers are studying diseases. Pharmaceutical companies are making decisions about what's profitable and what's not. But somewhere out there, a girl who is supposed to die is sleeping peacefully in her bed. And a foundation bearing his wife's name is making sure her voice is finally heard. Jonas doesn't need wealth, doesn't need fame, doesn't need the world to remember his name. He just needs to know that when it mattered most, he didn't stay silent. He stands, turns off the kitchen light, walks to Ivy's room, opens the door quietly. She's curled under her blankets, her stuffed bear tucked under her arm. He watches her breathe. In, out, steady, peaceful. He whispers into the dark. I kept my promise, Miriam. I didn't let anyone else die. I listened when they wouldn't. And I'll keep listening. For as long as I can. He closes the door, goes to his own room, lies down, and for the first time in 3 years, he sleeps without nightmares. Because sometimes the miracle isn't divine. It's just human courage refusing to stay quiet. If this story moved you, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. We have more stories coming that will inspire you and remind you that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it with them. Let's inspire each other. Because the world changes when we refuse to stay silent.